The heavy wooden doors of Courtroom 7 creaked open as 10-year-old Marcus Williams walked in, his small hand gripping the leather leash of his German Shepherd, Rex. The boy's dark eyes held a weight no child should carry. He hadn't spoken a single word in 3 months, not since that terrible night when everything changed. Judge Patterson sat behind the towering bench like a king on his throne, his cold gray eyes scanning the packed courtroom with obvious disdain. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Black families filled every seat, their faces etched with worry and anger, while a handful of white officers sat smugly in the front row. Marcus took his place beside defense attorney Sarah Chan, a determined Asian woman who had fought countless battles against injustice. Rex settled protectively at the boy's feet, his intelligent amber eyes alert and watchful. The courtroom buzzed with whispered conversations and nervous energy. Sarah placed a gentle hand on Marcus's shoulder. "Remember, you're safe here," she whispered. But Marcus only stared ahead, his silence speaking volumes about the trauma locked deep inside his young heart 3 months earlier. Marcus had been riding in the passenger seat when Officer Blake and Officer Stone pulled over his father, David Williams, for a broken taillight. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly turned into a nightmare that would haunt Marcus forever. "Step out of the vehicle," Officer Blake had shouted, his hand already reaching for his baton. David complied peacefully, his hands raised high. "Dad, what's happening?" Marcus had whispered from the car, but his father could only mouth "Stay quiet" before the first blow landed. The officers struck David repeatedly, calling him vicious names while Marcus watched in frozen terror from the passenger seat. His father never fought back, never resisted, but they kept hitting him anyway. Blood splattered across the pavement as David collapsed, gasping for air. "No witnesses," Officer Stone had declared, not noticing the small boat crouched low in the car. They dragged David away, claiming he had attacked them first. From that moment, Marcus's voice disappeared completely, locked away with the horrible truth he had witnessed. The police department quickly covered up the incident, claiming David Williams was a dangerous criminal who had assaulted 2 officers. Prosecutor Williams stood up with a smug grin, adjusting his expensive tie as he addressed the court. "Your Honor, this case is a waste of the court's valuable time. We have no credible witness testimony, no evidence of wrongdoing by our dedicated officers. The defendant clearly attacked 2 respected members of our police force." Judge Patterson nodded eagerly, his gavel already in hand. "I'm inclined to agree, Prosecutor Williams. This appears to be another frivolous lawsuit against our hardworking law enforcement." Sarah Chan shot to her feet, her voice cutting through the courtroom like a sword. "Objection, Your Honor. We haven't even begun to present our case. This is a blatant miscarriage of justice." The packed gallery erupted in angry murmurs. Mrs. Johnson, an elderly black woman in the front row, shook her head in disgust. "Same old story," she whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. Judge Patterson slammed his gavel repeatedly. "Order! Order in my courtroom." His face flushed red with irritation. "Miss Chen, unless you have concrete evidence, I suggest you stop wasting everyone's time." Sarah's hands trembled with rage as she looked at Marcus, who sat perfectly still beside Rex. The dog's ears perked up, sensing the rising tension in the room. Community members leaned forward in their seats, their hopes hanging by a thread. "Your Honor," Sarah said firmly, "justice demands we hear this case fully." As Judge Patterson raised his gavel to dismiss the case, Marcus slowly lifted his right hand and made a small circular motion with his index finger. It was a signal he had taught Rex months ago, one that meant find the truth. Rex's ears shot up instantly. The intelligent German Shepherd rose to his feet and padded over to Marcus's small backpack sitting beside the defense table. With his nose, Rex snatched open the zipper and carefully retrieved a small black device with his teeth. Sarah's eyes widened as she recognized what Rex was holding. "Your Honor, the witness has evidence." The courtroom fell dead silent as Rex gently placed the recording device on the defense table. It was Marcus's old smartphone. The one he had forgotten was in his jacket pocket that terrible night. In his terror, he had accidentally activated the voice recording app. Sarah picked up the device with trembling hands and pressed play. Officer Blake's cruel voice filled the courtroom. No witnesses, right, Stone? Just another troublemaker who got what he deserved. The courtroom exploded in gasps and angry shouts. Judge Patterson's face went pale as the truth finally emerged. The recording continued to play, each word hitting the courtroom like thunder. Officer Stone's voice crackled through the speakers. Kid didn't see nothing, right, Blake? We stick to our story. He attacked us first. Judge Patterson's hands shook as he tried to maintain control. The audio was crystal clear, undeniable proof of the brutal attack and systematic cover-up. Even his deep-rooted bias couldn't dismiss this evidence. This changes everything, Judge Patterson stammered, his authority crumbling before everyone's eyes. Sarah stood triumphantly. Your Honor, I demand immediate arrest warrants for Officers Blake and Stone for assault, battery, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. The two officers in the front row jumped up, panic written across their faces. That recording is fake, Officer Blake shouted desperately. But it was too late. Court bailiffs moved swiftly, handcuffs clicking as they arrested both men right there in the courtroom. Suddenly, Marcus stood up slowly. The entire courtroom held its breath as the silent boy opened his mouth for the first time in 3 months. They hurt my daddy, Marcus said, his young voice clear and strong. They hurt him bad, and they lied about it. I want justice for my daddy and for everyone like him. Tears streamed down faces throughout the courtroom as justice finally began to unfold. Within hours, David Williams walked free from prison, his name cleared and his dignity restored. The recording sparked a federal investigation that exposed widespread corruption throughout the police department. Chief Morrison resigned in disgrace as dozens of cases were reopened. Marcus and Rex became heroes in their community, their stories spreading across the nation like wildfire. The brave boy who found his voice again inspired countless others to speak up against injustice. Local news stations called them the dynamic duo of justice. Community leaders organized healing circles where families shared their own stories of police brutality. Mrs. Johnson started a youth program teaching children their rights. Sarah Chan opened a legal clinic offering free services to victims of police misconduct. As Marcus walked home that evening, Rex trotting proudly beside him, neighbors cheered from their porches. His father wrapped him in a tight hug. You saved us all, son, David whispered. Marcus smiled, his voice strong and clear. Rex and I just told the truth, Daddy. Sometimes that's all it takes to change everything. Hope had returned to their neighborhood, one courageous voice at a time.